Hey there, and good afternoon, slash morning, slash evening, whatever time it might be, wherever you are. So another spontaneous or rather spontaneous FreeCAD stream. I already hinted at it last time that I still needed a solution to be able to mount a paper towel roll, a common one, Küchenpapier, as we call it in Germany, um, to my heavy duty metal shelving unit that is sitting to my left and where my printers and all that stuff are stored. Um, so the goal is to do that today here, and maybe also to try to do it a bit faster than usual, because I noticed a bug in Octoprint that I put in there, or rather maybe that was already in there and that I didn't notice until earlier, and that is currently sitting on the maintenance branch, and that is annoying me greatly, and half of my brain is still trying to figure out what went wrong there, but yeah. But, well, yeah, I'll do my best to do a good job as always here. Okay, so where will we start with that? So first of all, the idea is to use magnets like this little disc magnet with a little hole in it. Let me quickly, with a little hole in it to be able to put a countersunk screw through it. So I do not plan to embed these into the print that I'm going to do for the individual arms that are going to hold the the paper towel, sorry. The concept of the holder is identical, so yeah. And then to screw these into the plastic from below instead of embedding them. Yeah, so two of them, basically two holders with these things attached to each side, and then through the connecting them both, some kind of axle. And I have two material choices here to work with. On the one end, I have a PVC pipe here, which is nice and well, not so heavy. Light was the word that I was looking for. The other one is something like a 22 millimeter or something. I think this is beech dowel material around stock. Wrong stream weasel. I did not hide any watches anywhere. That was the SO who streamed yesterday, or rather the character of them. So the question is what to use here, and I thought maybe you had some opinions on that as well. The upside of using the dowel is it simply looks nicer, in my opinion, than this. On the other hand, a paper towel roll will be sitting on it anyhow. And it will also be more sturdy. The upside of this, of course, is it's lighter. Yeah, and it's also see-through. Hi there. So I'm still wondering. That is also easier to cut to size for myself because I have like a special set of pliers that I use to just go like this around it, and then it's off and everything is to length and I don't have to use a saw. But still, I'm slightly leaning towards the dowel. Do they have the same diameter? They actually seem to have the same diameter, so it doesn't really matter what we decide on. I can just use both. And I'm not going to use a piece of printed material because I always consider it a bit weird trying to print round stock when I have it readily available in my stash of materials. So I rather prefer to do stuff like that, multi-material, so to speak. So we have one vote for wood and another vote for wood. Well, we'll go with wood then, I guess. Okay, so I need to do some measurements, and for that I'm going to enable the top camera again. At least I hope that I will, because I forgot to test that earlier, but yay. Also, look at that new desktop background, literally. So we need the actual diameter of the wooden dowel here. And of course you cannot see anything at all. Yeah, I would say that is 21 millimeters. It's saying 20 point It can't decide between 20.3 and 20.5. 20.3. Yeah, I mean, it can have some, it should have some wiggle room, so we are going with 21. And so let me actually create a new file first. You are not seeing anything. Create a new file first. Give it a name. Rather save it as paper towel mount or something like that. And then we also need a part, which will be an arm or maybe a bracket, or yeah, let's call it a bracket. And we'll also need a new spreadsheet actually, because I want to make this parametric again, because this is usually a good idea to do that. So we will have the roller dia, the magnet dia, the magnet hole, or rather the screw dia. Oh, that did not work like I was hoping it would. Screw dia. And also the screw length. And we also need a depth, or yeah, maybe just a length overall, because we somehow have to fit this thing in there. And we are using 1 magnet per side because these things are quite strong. I hope they will suffice. Like I almost managed to harm myself earlier because 2 of them wanted to get back together quite fast. And I mean, it's not really heavy, but we'll figure it out. So we said this was, things are falling over here. Okay, this is 21 millimeters. The magnet should have 25, but maybe let's measure it just to be safe. Also, I have a bunch of these. No, it wasn't the PVC pipe which fell, but actually a jar of honey, a bottle of honey rather, for my tea. But yeah. Of course, it's always tricky to measure these things when the measuring device tries to attach itself to them. On the other hand, we could also just rely on the specs. So this is supposedly a 25 times 5 millimeter magnet. 6 pieces of them. And I know that they are brittle because this is what happened to 1 magnet the other day, which I used to hold material down in the laser. When it got a bit too interested in its neighbor that was maybe 30 centimeters away and crashed into it. And now I have 2 magnets for the price of 1, which is kind of nice. Hi, Romses also, and yeah. If Twitch is acting up, please just reload it. We had this last night as well, so something is up with this platform recently. I'm not seeing any drop frames here or any issues like that, so I think it's probably Twitch again, if you're seeing any issues. Anyhow, the magnet dia will set to 25 millimeter. Also, I just realized we probably also want a magnet height here, which is supposedly 5 millimeters, because I want to have that a bit embedded into the thing. And we also need a wall strength, I just realized. The screw diameter. Okay, so let me fetch another of these screws instead of trying to use the one that I'm currently using to get the magnet off my whiteboard again, and then not being able to get the magnet off my whiteboard again. Possibly, at least. So the thing is that we want this screw to screw itself into the plastic. It's a wood screw, so I think that should work fairly nicely. And I cannot close up this jar again. Stupid jar. Also, I just realized maybe storing this next to a laptop is not the best idea, even though it has an SSD, so we're putting it there. Okay. So we want to screw it in, so we need the inner diameter, so the one without the thread, basically. And I'm going to try to somehow measure that now, more or less successfully. And that's 2.5. And yeah, I also somewhere have plastic calipers, but don't ask me where. I know I own some of them, but yeah. 2.5 millimeter, right? So 2.5, millimeter. And the length of that thing, all in all, so including the part where it goes into the magnet, that's a 20 millimeter screw. Also, we need to know how deep the countersunk here goes. Or do we? Or do we just... we'll just give the screw a bit more hole and then we'll be done with it. Okay. Or rather, we'll just assume the whole screw will go in what it won't, which it won't do. So we now have that. Now the length, the size, it will basically leave the middle from the midpoint of the roll to the wall. So that is the length that we are aiming for here, plus a bit of stuff around. And that is, I think that one is used a bit already, so give some margin up to it. And let's go for, I think with 60 I should be fine. Best. I mean, it's probably going to, yeah. Okay, and then a wall strength of, let's say, 5 millimeters. Oh, no, that's too much. 3 millimeters. Okay, now where to put that again? Ugh. Okay. Apologies, that was a hiccup. Or rather a starting hiccup. Okay, and now we are going to save this and I'm going to try out a new macro that I found, which is this one. So we are now going to set aliases for column B from row 2 to row 8. And shout out to Worsrel, who I think is not here today, but who linked me to this, and I hope this works. Yay! So this now all has the alias set for the to the value of the column A cell right next to it, which is kind of nice because now that was way faster than so far, where I always had to type everything here twice, once there and once there. So really nice. Okay. So let's go back to the actual part design workbench and start with a sketch on the XY plane as usual, because I want to try to make stuff printable. Okay. So now we'll have to figure out, I would say that the space where we put the hole for the rod to go through, we'll put in the center, because that makes a bunch of sense, I would say. So we have the through hole for the rod, then we have also, yeah, the macro is called, sorry for that, I only just saw that now. The macro is, I have to get out here and I have to switch back to the spreadsheet. The one is called Alias Manager, and you should hopefully be able to find that, but I can also see that I added to the setup thing. Oh, wait, actually, maybe I can quickly do that. Yeah, I found the thing, and now let me quickly add it to the setup information that is linked below. I just need to find it again. There it is. And there we go. it's now added. So if you look at the setup link below, over there, it's now in there. You can just click on the link and hopefully that will help. Okay. So what was I? Where was I at? Right. I'm actually thinking right now if this is the best approach to start with this. I'm wondering if I want the base, so the magnet is round. I could make the connection point of the holder arm bracket thingy with the metal round as well, though that would make it a bit more difficult to print it on its side. Then again, I don't necessarily have to print it on its side. Tricky. I could also just make it square and embed the magnet into it. That would make stuff, but it would, yeah, that would make stuff easier, but it would also add some issues around it. So actually, I think we're going to make it round, but that means we're going to start differently. So, let me think real quick how best to do that. So we are not actually even starting that much differently. I know that you like embedded magnets in paper towel holders, so Weasel actually already did something like this last week. But I said, I hope he doesn't hold it against me that I'm doing it again, but with my magnets and not embedded and in FreeCAD. Yeah. Let's start with this being the, yeah, actually, let's just say this is the master, why can I not, yeah, no. This is the master sketch, because that way we can just sketch around now and then create individual sketches of things. So this is the master sketch. We have a place for the magnet to go in. We also have a screw hole for the magnet. And also, I think we want things to, become rectangular on one end, because that is where I'll, did this properly? Yes. Wait, I need to say that you are also on here, and you are also on here. And then finally, you and you are tangential. Right, so what I was saying is that the idea here is to have this thing basically D-shaped and go up to a certain point, then lose the D part and just stick to a wall where then the rod can be inserted from up. And then we'll simply mirror that thing and use it for the other side during printing. So I only design basically the left bracket now, and the right one will then be turned into will then just be done in the slicer by mirroring the part. That is the idea here. Okay, so that means this is the shape that we'll extrude first without the one in the middle, which is where the magnet will go. Then we'll add a couple of layers more where the whole thing will be extruded, and then we'll go over here and limit it to less material, basically. Maybe just half of it. That would probably just work fine. So we're going to need a whole bunch of sketches for this to work now. But first of all, we need to make sure that this one is constrained. So we'll switch to diameters here. And that one will be spreadsheet.screwdia. That one will be spreadsheet magnet dia plus a small error of margin. And that one will be spreadsheet magnet dia plus 2 times spreadsheet our wall that goes around it. So this is now our fully constrained sketch, master sketch, I should say. And now we are going to add some individual sketches for the bits of our arm that make it up. So another, oh, I'm still in the spreadsheet thingy. Another part design sketch. Again on, oh, wait. I mean, that was not wrong per se, but again on the XY plane. And we want to have this one, this one, this one, and this one. Then we'll turn all of these into actual sketch geometry, because right now they are not. They are only construction geometry. And then we'll also add an arc from here to there. And that makes our sketch fully constrained. And if we now pad this up, let me quickly hide the master sketch. If we now pad this up to spreadsheet dot magnet height, we have the pocket for the magnet to go into. Okay, so next thing is we are going to make another sketch. I'm wondering if I should risk a topology naming issue here or not. No, we are not going to risk that. So we are going to make another sketch. Again on the XY plane, but in Z direction, we'll move it by the magnet height. So it's not directly on the plane, but basically interfacing with this plane here. Okay. And now we need, again, the master sketch. We are briefly going to hide the pad, because what we now want is only this. Oh, that was actually wrong. Only this, this, and this. And now we want this here. And then again, all of these become actual sketch geometry instead of the construction geometry they are now. And we also do an arc from here to there. And now it's fully constrained, and we close again. And you see that it now is offset towards the first one that we did and towards the master sketch. And also that it intersects with the plane, with the top face of the pad that we already did. So we'll now do another pad. And this time it will be spreadsheet dot screw length minus spreadsheet dot magnet height, so that the whole thing will be as high as the screw is long, which of course is more than we actually need, because the magnet also has a certain thickness that the screw will first go to, but this way we get a bit of margin. And then we say okay. And now we have this shape. And now we do another sketch. You see that is a pretty sketch heavy thing today. Again on the XY plane. Only this time it is moved in Z direction by spreadsheet dot screw length. And for that now we are actually cheating a bit, I think. I did not change anything regarding the poly count. We are simply copying these parts here. Wait, let me copy that not from the face, but actually from the sketch, which is here. Because that is derived anyhow from the master sketch, so we don't need to now bend over backwards just to somehow recreate stuff from the master sketch, but instead we just do this, and now the thing is fully constrained, and we can hide the sketch again, close, display this, and now we are going to extrude this by hello, thank you, by our wall again. So spreadsheet.wall. And now it's closed up. So this is now the place where we'll put our magnet in. It has a screw hole here where we can just screw it in, and it will cut its own thread into the walls here. So lots of parameters to make sure this works out, but no problem. And this is basically the foot of the bracket. Nothing fancy. And yes, of course, Gumiko, we will add fillets later. But I do them at the end because sometimes FreeCAD is a bit weird if you do that too early. Okay, so now we continue with our funny, fancy sketch stack, but it's only one more to go. So, another sketch. This time in Z direction. Oh wait, I should first say that it is the XY plane that we want. And now we go into Z direction, spreadsheet.screwLength plus spreadsheet.wall. So 23 millimeters, okay. Now that thing is offset. We need the master sketch again. We don't want to see this right now. And then we copy this geometry here, turn it into sketch geometry. There it is. Add another line. It's fully constrained. We turn this back on. We no longer need the master sketch for now. And now we are going to pad this by. Now it gets tricky. So first of all, spreadsheet dot what did we call it? Length, I think. Yeah, is 60 millimeters. But then we also need to, so 60 millimeters will be until we are at the midpoint of this thing here, basically. But we also need to ensure that we have enough space to add the other half of the rod here plus the wall it is sitting in, which means this is that length plus spreadsheet dot that was the, how did we call it again? Some dia, but I can't remember. Roller. Okay, roller dia divided by 2 plus the wall. And now from that we subtract one wall and one screw length, because this is what we already put there, which means we can get rid of one wall and we only subtract the screw length here. Sorry for the mouse cursor being in the way there. That is some weird... Z cut-off effect going on there. Anyhow, okay. Boom. Thankfully that only happens with the preview thing. Well, yeah. And yes, that I can, in theory, also say I'm going to put it on here and sketch directly on this face. I'm not doing that here because because of what Gumiko pointed out. Because of what Gumiko pointed out, which is that yeah, sometimes things like to break if you do that, especially if you change anything on the underlying geometry, because then faces get renamed. So the reference of your sketch suddenly is renamed and is no longer this face, but maybe that one, and then all hell breaks loose. So this is called the topological naming problem. Every piece of CAD software suffers from that. Some are able to cope with it better than others. Topological naming problem. Thank you. Did I say topological problem naming? Whatever. So the idea here is that I simply don't risk anything and simply just offset the sketches and save myself some possible troubles by that. I could also, of course, just have all of these locations pre-calculated in the spreadsheet and immediately reference them that way. And that would have been said a bit less annoying probably for everyone involved here, watching me constantly doing math in my head and such. But frankly, I don't expect to have to change these measurements much, so that should be fine, I hope. Anyhow, so this is now the rather chunky, I might add, but we can maybe change that a bit with a fillet. Major part of the bracket, of the left bracket. So what we now need is a way to, I love my bricks, don't I? So what we now need is actually, let me quickly revisit this. It just looks way too chunky. It's actually annoying me greatly. So what we are going to do is, instead of we are not going to do this here, and we are also not going to, we are converting these into construction geometry, and instead we are going to put a point here on the mid point. So we say that these are symmetrical. Then we drop a line from here to there. We drop a vertical line from here to there, and then we drop a line from there to there, and then it's perfectly constrained as well. And now the thing looks less like a brick. This looks less chunky. Definitely less chunky. And the spool is now going to go here. So for that, we need a new sketch, and we are going to create that sketch on this plane here, basically. So I'm going to create a new sketch on the YZ plane, but offset it. And now I'm wondering, is this the negative X direction? Yes, this is the negative X direction. So I'm going to offset this by minus spreadsheet.magnetDia divided by 2 plus minus spreadsheet.wall. And that should put us right on top, right on top of that thing here, I hope. Of course, now it is the wrong side that I'm looking at. And what we now want is a place for the thing to go in there. Against the wall, Gumiku. So the idea is to be able to mount that thing here in this orientation to a shelf, which is magnetic. I hope it works. If it doesn't, I'll have to design something that simply screws in there, but I would prefer the magnet solution. Okay, now we will have to design the holder for the I'm not computing computing your question right now, Gumiku. So the idea is that the magnet goes in there, and the magnet is this big. So these are roughly 30 millimeters here, all in all, with the wall and everything. And then the magnet screws in there. And let's just imagine back here is the shelf. This jots out 90 parallel to the ground, basically, and we put a rod from here to here. That is the idea. And I have a big chunky part up there because I have to screw the screw in somewhere, and the screw is 20 millimeters long, and so I'm going to use it because it came with the magnet, and I don't want to dig through everything, every part bin that I have on hand here, trying to find something that fits the diameter of the hole in the magnet and has a less long screw. So that is the idea. Yeah, I could just make this less chunky, but frankly, why? Why overcomplicate the design? Why? I were complaining about the chunkiness of this. This part is totally fine. At least I hope so. I might also just turn it around and have it be the other way. Whatever. We are going to go chunky on this boy. I might even embed some lettering into it that says that it's a chunky boy. Okay, so the only thing that I'm still undecided on is whether I want the dowel to go through the thing fully or whether I want to try to somehow... Yeah, I want to go through it fully. Never mind. So, what we now need is our sides here. And we will create a hole for the dowel. And also some way for the dowel to drop in, which I'm thinking might make way to put at a 45-degree angle here, because this makes things easier. So if I pull against it, it will get pulled in further. So 50, 45. The other side, please. Oh, there. Okay. 115, right? And you are parallel. And then we also need a new point here that is symmetric, or rather that is the symmetry center of this. And then we need a new construction line down here. To get a midpoint of things, because now we can say that you are on here, that you are our dowel. Actually, you are right. Let's ignore the channel. You're right. We are just simply going to move the part. I'm thinking too complicated. I thought about it being mounted permanently, more or less, because a prior design that I had that was mounted to the side of a card. So yeah, you're right. You're right. We are not going to add the channel. I'm going to remove it right away again. But first, let's set this to the, what did we call it? Roller something, right? Yeah, roller dia. Which also means that this point and this point need a vertical distance of spreadsheet.roller dia plus spreadsheet.wall. That looks a bit, oh, divided by 2. There we go. That looks way better. And we don't need these. And then while we are at it, we are also going to use the opportunity here to round off these corners via the sketch. Or are we? No, we are going to do that with fillets. Let's not become too fancy here. Close. Okay, so now we have this thing there floating in the middle of things, because apparently it should have been minus after all and not plus after all and not minus, but live and learn. Where are the properties of that thing? Not in there, but rather here. Attachment offset. Yeah, that's not a minus. That apparently is actually, oh crap. Sorry, I need to do that. Right, now we have it. There we go. So this is actually this Plus. It isn't. I'm confused right now. For some reason, it did not really... Oh, wait. I make this mistake every time. The displacement direction is relative to the plane, to the sketch plane. So we are not moving it in X direction. We are actually moving it in the Z direction as well. So that was wrong. And this is right, but now it actually, of course, needs to be negative again. Every single time I make this mistake. There we go. I mean, we could also just ignore it here because we are going to make a hole through everything anyhow, but I wanted to put it at the right location. So, pocket. That was wrong. No, that was not wrong, but I should have selected the sketch first. Pocket. Let's second try. In the other direction, through all, and we have a hole. Hooray. So that looks actually okay. And now we are going to round this over by spreadsheet dot. What is this? This is the roller dia plus 2 times the wall, but FreeCAD will not like that because the 2 fillets will meet in the middle and that will not be enjoyed by it. So I'm going to subtract something like 0.01 millimeters from it and be done. And apparently that was still too much. Did I miscalculate something somewhere? Oh, that's also wrong. It's not the roller dia, it's the screw dia that dictates this dimension. This is not what I expected. No, it is the roller dia. But we only need 1 times wall, that's the problem. Or do we? No. Now we are talking. That is correct, I think. Aha, this is what I wanted. And then also let me quickly do some refinement stuff. Oh, I always forget where that hides. Part refinement, where are you? No, it is actually on the data, right? Claim children, suppress, blah, 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 blah. Linearize. Ah, there. So that is better. And then we do the same with this one. And now it looks better. And we also do that. I think at least we try to do that as well with this one. Yeah. Good, huh? More or less friction fit, yes. Or maybe I'll just glue it in if it is too wiggly. Once it's in there, I'm fine. Come on. Can you fillet this? You can. Nice. Perfect. Then let's fillet it. I like 5 better. And these are way too sharp corners down here. Oops. And yes, I also have that option, of course, of just screwing it in. But why do that if there is super glue? Also, this annoys me greatly that we need to redo the fillet up here. That just looks weird. I think it needs to be screw dia after all, because otherwise it won't stay concentric. Oh, wait, that was wrong. Screw dia divided by 2. Not screw, roller. We have way too many diameters in this project. I'm getting confused. Ha! Was this that one? No. That one? Yeah. Now I'm happy. And yeah, I meant only one side. I mean, it's not like I usually do not rip off the stuff from things like that. I usually just hold it and rip, so there will not be much physical force on it. So all I have to do, I could really just put them a bit more closer together so it has leftover space on both sides, and that will be enough. It's not like I'm constantly going like a cat on that thing. So that should be fine. You're overthinking it. You are overthinking it. Yeah. And I think that should be it, really. And I'm actually thinking that I'll put these on the outside. So basically the roll will now get ears, so that the roll can sit in between here happily. And that should be fine, I think. So the only question left now is, should I print it this way and it takes ages, or should I just print it this way and put some minimal of amount of support in here, which I would probably do because, frankly, I forgot the chunky boy text. Yeah, the problem is I've so far never done I've never done embedded lettering in FreeCAD, so maybe let's figure this out together. But yeah, I think I'm going to print it this way. This way around, and let it generate some support here so that this thing here prints clearly, because the thing is, no one will ever see that. And I can simply get rid of any problems here with regards to pulling the magnet in with some sandpaper and be happy. So I frankly do not see the need to overcomplicate things here and just print it that way, do some post-processing on this face, or rather on this face specifically, and then it should also print in a fairly normal kind of duration without having to wait hours just because something prints in that direction, which would also have a problem with support up here, but yeah, you get the drift. So text. I'm doubtful this will work out, but let's try it anyhow. simply because I've never so far done it. How would I even go about that? Big question. And yeah, of course, yeah, good point. I also have better bed adhesion that way. So can I can import SVG files, right? And use them maybe as sketch. Is this possible? I've never tried that. So let me quickly let's see. Oh, that would also be easier. Okay, wait, then let's try that first. The draft workbench, which I don't even have enabled right now. Was that under preferences or was this under customize workbenches? Yeah, draft, right? Let's see. So, never used this before. This is a first for me, and you are all going to see how I completely and utterly despair. I guess we want to do a text. That would place it at the origin, I guess. Right? Ugh. And yes, also Affinity Designer is something I'm really happy with, I have to say. I used to be a subscriber of Adobe Illustrator, but the prices are frankly insane. And then I spotted Affinity Designer on sale during some kind of Black Friday deal for half the price and just figured, okay, I'm going to learn a new tool instead of sticking to the one I already know, but which is expensive. So, yeah. Can I just do something like that? Let's see what happens. I have no idea. What did it do? Did it do anything at all? I'm confused. Does anyone see ghosty text here floating around somewhere? No. I thought I did click on create text. So I did this. Enter a new point with the given coordinates. Oh. Can someone explain what this dialog expects me to enter there? Because I frankly click again on the face, okay? Oh, I forgot that button. I really did? Okay, sorry. That makes sense. Chunky boy. Create text. You saw that I clicked it, right? Oh, but now it's here. But where is here? It's now somewhere is not really helping. Well, it's also not in there. I have no idea where the text went. All I'm seeing is it is somewhere. Yeah, I'm waiting. Where? I'm seriously not seeing it. And it's not this because this is just the leftovers from the placement 001. So it's supposedly somewhere here, but I don't see it. Whatever this is, it's not helping. Hmm. Undo again in the draft workbench. I'm on the text. Can I scale it? Where is it placed? That is one weird position. Oh! Ah! That is a bit the wrong way round. But hey, at least we found the text. But honestly, this is confusing me more than it's helping. So, nope. We're not going to do that this way. Let's try it with an... Holy cow. Let's see if we can maybe just do it with an SVG. Oh, that put it on this side. Okay, fine. Plop. Let's see. Wrong. Bauhaus 93 maybe? If you're looking for FreeCAD tutorials, I would suggest to look at FreeCAD Academy on YouTube, or if you speak German, Flowy's Corner. That is places that have helped me a lot. And Bernd, that is Affinity Designer, which sadly is not available for Linux as far as I know, but yeah. JetBrains Mono? No. Needs to be something chunky. Or Comic Sans, because why not? Cooper Black? No. Oh, or maybe? Arial Black. Impact is always good. I was thinking about not extruding it, but rather using it to pocket. I don't have Arial Black on that thing. That's slightly annoying. Yeah, okay, true. Extruding always sounds to me like you're pulling something out of stuff because of Latin, X out. Well, but who cares? And we can always scale it in stuff. We want it like that. Yeah, I think that's all right. Oops. So we are going to save that. Oh, no, we are not going to save that. We're going to export that actually as a SVG file, and we only want the... Let's try that again as an SVG file. And only the selection. And we want to export text as curves. And I think that's it. Now we are getting a way too big. Let me quickly put that over here where I can actually see anything. I'm simply going to throw that into code hardware. And yes, I know that sounds weird. I'm calling it Chunky Boy SVG. And now let's see if we can use this somehow. So, just assuming we are going to... I'm simply going to go blindly in here and assuming that I maybe can do this, use this for a sketch. I don't know. I'm simply going to try. Apparently I cannot even import here. Okay, so that was a wrong idea. Yeah, it has a bit. Maybe I shouldn't call it Chunky Boy, but rather like Stilles Örtchen or something. Wait. Maybe we first should try to import it in some shape or form. Let's see what happens if we just tell it here is an SVG, do something with it. That's not good. Okay. SVG as geometry. That sounds good, doesn't it? Does not appear to have been produced by Inkscape. Yeah, I know, it was Affinity. If it does not contain absolute units, then a DPI setting will be used. Do you wish to use 96 DPI? Choosing no will use the older standard 9. I have actually no idea. Let's just say yes. That is big. That is ridiculous. Oh my god. Yeah, so Chunky Boy is literally. Oh dear. But it, oh yeah, and it created individual objects from all of that, and they are enormous in size. So I don't think that this is actually what we want. Also, it looks cute. Yeah, okay, let me undo that. Oh dear, I have to undo that for every single one. No. Oh, something horrible just happened. Let me quickly reload. Yeah. Oh, close. Close. Discard. Open. I just hope we don't have to do all of that again now. But I think yeah, okay. All is fine. All is well. We are back to square one. I actually am making a quick backup if you don't mind. Code. Where are you? There. Zack. And we have a copy. So nothing can happen anymore. We have a copy. We are safe. You said import is a drawing, right? Somewhere there? Draft shape string tutorial. Thank you. So, insert outline text with the draft shape string tool. Holy cow, this is complicated. Okay, first of all, let's try to see if we can import the SVG again. Open as a drawing. And that helps me now. How? I mean, it's there, but it's not here. It's a separate drawing now. Oh. Okay, let's see. The draft shape string command. Where do I even find that? So apparently I have that in the draft workbench somewhere, and it is this one. Yeah. String, I guess, is the string, and then we use a font file. Ooh. Okay, let's start easy here. Chunky boy. Height 10 millimeters. Let's just look what happens. Nothing. So now we have a shape string and it's somewhere. Is it back down here again? No. I need to give it a font file. I thought it would use some kind of default in that case. I cannot edit it again. Okay, I'm going to delete it again. Then we are going to do this again. We're going to do this again. So that, then that. that, that, thank you. Font file. Oh. Where does Windows store its files again? Its fonts again? Do God, Windows. See. Windows. Fonts. Fonts sounds good. Impact there. Okay. Ah! Well. It's in an entirely wrong place, and it's also too... But at least, I mean, that's better than we so far have achieved, right? So the only problem is, first of all, it's the wrong way around, and it put it somewhere, not where I wanted it to be, but that's okay. We can change that. Can I, in theory, then just do... what? A difference with a pad of that and the surface here, or... Yep, that was the idea. So the support, can I just... Oh, that's nice. So I'm going to say here. But it's still down there. Could it be the problem that it's not part of the... No. Or? I'm confused. So if I tell it I want it on this face, it stays down there. So something is not working out here like it should. In any case, let's first maybe rotate it around the... It does have... Ah, wait, okay. Yeah, that's only the position there. But I cannot actually make it go on this face. I mean, I can always just calculate that, of course. But that one you mean? Yeah, that's not... No. So if I give it an attachment or not, it doesn't really matter, apparently. If I now... Big. Can I scale it? Size 10 millimeter. Let's try 5. Still too big. 3. And then I want it rotated. What kind of angle is this? I'm a bit unclear on that. What happens if I put 90 there? Okay. And then I want it moved over by... just experimenting here. Oh, that was completely and utterly wrong. This one was the one that I wanted. That's the wrong axis, actually. What was that again? That was the screw length plus the wall. Well, at least it's now roughly on the correct plane. There is hope yet. It's a bit tricky to center this, but I think this is good enough. And now we are going to also move it a bit in this direction. Looks almost kind of funny. I'm going to save that now, and then we are going to try to part, I guess, right? Extrude this. Along the normal. Wait, let me check something. Yeah. Do I just say, okay, create solid? Do I want to create a solid? I do want to create a solid, right? Yeah, I definitely want to create a solid because I don't want shells. Okay. Well, this actually does look okay-ish. I mean, it's way too big, but who cares? Because what we are going to do now is we're actually going to move this down again by, oops, 0.5 millimeters. Or let's make it make it 0.8. Yeah, when I saw the word shell, I immediately knew that I wanted a solid. Okay, now it's slightly inside of that. And now we are going to save again because I don't trust all of this. And now we need to do a Boolean between these two parts. Yeah, so, or we just leave it like that. Not Corona. Split object, no, Boolean. Boolean sounds good. Boolean. First shape is the bracket. Second shape is the extrude. And we do a difference. And then we apply. It worked! Ha! Thank you, everyone. I learned something new today. So now it says Chunky Boy right on there. Awesome. Yep. Nice. No, I'm not going to fill it that. I refuse to fill it that. Hell no. And learning something usually involves learning a couple of ways that are not working. That's normal. Okay, so we are going to export that. Now it's called cut. Well, yeah, that's always the problem, right? I mean, I can still probably change things here. Actually, that's a good question. What if I... Oh, God, no, that was wrong. I wanted to actually go into the spreadsheet. What if I change the wall size to 5 millimeters now? Recompute failed. That is encouraging. So it does not really like that because then sketches fail. Why? Yes. Yeah, okay, I can see why that failed. That was actually my error. These are... Why doesn't this work? Ugh. Undefined degrees of freedom. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Weird things happened. And I have no idea how to fix this. And I also do not understand why it even happened, to be honest. because this is just an arc and it should have been defined by going from this to this, but for some reason it isn't. And that is slightly weird. Consider me a bit puzzled, because these things actually do already have the constraints that they would need, but they simply just doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, I think something is really, really wrong here. Let's save. Let's close. Let's open again. It could be that it really doesn't like to do Boolean cuts on. Why is it in? Oh, right, because we needed to open a font file. Yeah, so this is the one where we edit the text. Okay, apparently I did save after or it auto-saved after I changed the value. Let's see if we can make it work again by changing this back to 3mm, or if stuff is now really, really broken. Apparently that worked. So it really likes its 3mm. It doesn't like 5. I have no idea why. We're going to stick with 3 for now, because I really do not want to figure that out now. The fillets should be fine though, because we only like increased the size. We didn't. Yeah, you have intersecting fillets, so it's possible that scaling the wall strength can cost them. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah. That's a good point. Maybe that. Who cares? We're going to leave it like that for now. And I'm going to export this as a V1. Did this? Yeah. And then we are going to check if it really is printable the way that I hope it will be printable. And then it's going to be dinner time for me, because I haven't yet eaten yet today. And I do not want to risk you hearing some weird rumbling noises on the stream, and the likelihood of this is increasing by the minute. Oh, come on. Curious, taking some time to load. Leftover pizza from yesterday, actually. I did not, or rather calzone. I did not manage to eat it completely. It was a big portion, so leftovers it will be today. So no, we are not going to print it like that. We are actually going to print it like that. Plop. And then let's see. 25% infill draft 02, but we want, how many parameters do we have here? 6. Okay, that's fine. Blah blah blah. We need support. Support, where are you? There you are. Everywhere. And that should be it, I think. Slice. 1 hour, 70 minutes. How does it look? The difference in 3D navigation mouse buttons and stuff between FreeCAD and Cura always trips me up. I really would. I have to check if there is maybe some way to change the navigation commands or navigation buttons in Cura to match FreeCAD, because this just really confuses the heck out of me every single time. Okay, so yeah, the problem is it also is throwing in support into this hole. So we need this support block thingy that I saw somewhere. Why is it placing support there? Oh, no, that doesn't really make sense. Oh, also, I think our text is too small. And the reason for the support is actually the text. So I am not sold on the text. That's too, yeah. I do not want to print it upright. It's going to take ages to print upright. I have better things to do. I'm going to remove the text again. Sorry. Or rather, I'm going to simply say export the bracket instead. I would expect this to work. Yeah, I want to replace it. Reload, reslice. Yeah, that worked. And then we actually need... how did this work again? I know it works somehow. It's just been a while. Support blocker. How does the support blocker thing work? Do I just click on it or no? Ah, that was that. Ooh. Yeah. Hello. Ooh. Okay. And then resize scale. So we want it a bit in. Oh, la la la. No. Wait, I thought I was actually working with the Huh? How do I just... I had selected both. Could this be... Yeah, okay. Like that. And then we need to move it down a bit. And a bit to the right. And that should do it. Yeah. And you think this should work without support, Gumiku? I mean, honestly, I have no problem with this amount of support in there, and everything else is without support, so we are going to try it that way. Let's quickly go through that. Yeah, there's a minimal nose that goes in there, but the rest of the hole stays free. That should work out well. Yeah. Okay, and then the bed is clean. And yes, I had to try to see some... try to squint a bit there because it's all dark currently for reasons. Now there's actually some light. Hooray. Yeah. Do I have... I have... How embarrassing. Yeah. We'll have a first result of that in about an hour, I guess. And hopefully by then I will also have had dinner. That is... I think that is actually a Logitech C270. Yeah, probably. The weird color temperature is due to the weird lightning. Yeah, there's lightning in this room. To the weird lighting in this room. Also, Weasel, I'm going to punch you. Yeah, and that should hopefully work out. And then I just need to print a second one if the first one works out. And then hopefully I will finally... Yeah, and then I also still need to cut this to size, come to think of it, because right now it is obviously a bit too long. Oh, I think this is a meter. But I have a saw somewhere here. Yeah. And it's taking some sweet time for heating up, but okay. So I'll keep you posted on Twitter on how that worked out. I don't know yet if, when, what, whatever there will be the next one of these. Tomorrow there will be an Octoprint on air for those of you on Patreon, as a reminder. But that will be on YouTube. And yeah. Yes, Cura can read infos from Octoprint. That's why it has the stats here. Anyhow, yeah. So, okay. My stomach is rumbling. I need food. And the print is also starting. I also have to check on another print that is currently happening on the resin printer. I already forgot it once today. But that can happen with prints that go that long. Yeah, so, okay. Hope it was interesting. Hope you learned something. I certainly did. I will look into printing that out and figuring out stuff and stop slobbering all over my build plate. And then we will see how this works out. All right. Take care, and until next time, bye-bye.